Came to work this morning, started the truck, and air pressure will not build up. So I came out here after about 15 minutes of trying to build air pressure, and this governor, I shut the motor off, and there was air leaking out of this governor, and so I thought, well, I'll go and get one of those and see if that's the problem. Hopefully that's all I need, so I'm just going to show how to change that. It's got some Allen wrench bolts on it here to hold it on, but while it's mounted you want to break these air lines off of it first, and then you have to change these fittings and put them on. And here's a new one, and it's got extra holes and plugs. There's some plugs in here that go in those holes, and so you match up the new one with the old one, and you put the plugs in the same holes on the new one that the old one has before you put this on. And then everything else is self-explanatory. You just install it. It's got a gasket, so you may want to make sure the gasket surface is clean with a sharp scraper or knife or something, and clean that. I cannot tripod a camera, so I'm just going to do this in steps. This is my cell phone. Looks like in my case it's going to be a 5/8 wrench on these air lines down here. I can't really see my phone very good. I think I'm on camera there. Break that loose. Well, the whole thing is turning. I might need 2 wrenches to do that. But those 2 air lines got to come off. I got these things off here, these lines off here. I got 2 different colors. I got a silver one, colored one. Maybe it's supposed to be white, I don't know, but that's the one closest to me, standing out here. And there's a black one closer to the motor. And if by some chance they're both the same color on your truck, then you might want to put a piece of tape on one of them, or put some kind of an identifiable mark on it, so you know where it goes when you put it back. And sometimes these on these air lines, sometimes these ends inside here, where am I, stay inside the part and don't come off with the line. And if that happens, you gotta carefully get that back out of there without crushing it with the pliers or something, and pull that back out of the part and put it back in the line. I got my old one off, and that little thing that I mentioned that on the airlines, it did stick inside on the one in the back. This thing goes on like this on the compressor, and my gasket stayed on the compressor. The whole gasket did. Now I can do one of 2 things. I can either, if I was at home, I would scrape that gasket off, but since it came off clean and intact, I'm going to go on ahead and just mount it. Since I'm not at home, I'm going to mount this right on that old gasket. That's my choice. It's your choice whether you do that or not. Now, I got to change these fittings on this thing. Okay, mount it this way. You see, I got to put a plug in this hole here on this side, and I saw another one somewhere. Where was that? Oh, this is my new one. It doesn't have plugs in it yet. Okay, I got to put these back on there, of course, and I got to put a plug in here, which is this one right there. So I got to put a plug there, and then where's that at? Over here on this side. Yeah, I got to put a plug there. I'll go ahead and get one started there. And roll this back over this way. And I'm going to need a plug in the middle here. And one here on this end. And in my case, I already found those Allen wrench sizes. 3/16 on those plugs and a 1/4 inch on the bolts that mounted on my truck. Everybody's truck's going to be different. Well, I couldn't pull this thing out with my fingers, and instead of grabbing it with the pliers, and I got this set of Allen wrenches here, I'm just, this same 3/16 that I put these plugs in, on this new one, fits in there. So I'm just going to use that to wiggle that around and work that out of there, and then just shove that back in the hose. Now I got to take these off. 9/16 wrench, same wrench I used to hold them still while I unscrewed the hoses, because one of them was trying to turn away, trying to turn on me. And just make a mental note they're facing straight up when they're in this position, so put them back on that way. You could use tape on them, Teflon tape, or some kind of thread paint sealer. I'm not going to mess with that because I'm like doing this out on the road, so I'll just crank them down. Hopefully they'll be okay. If not, then I'll have to take them off and reseal them at home. I'm ready to put this back on, but I can't finish turning these things here where I want them to be facing without a vise. So I'm going to go ahead and mount it, and I can reach these with a 9/16 wrench underneath to finish tightening them down once it's mounted. I got it mounted. Let's fire it up and see if it starts building air. When you tighten these air lines down, this goes for any air lines, since you have to use open-end wrenches on there, open-end wrenches will wipe the corners off if they're too tight. Just don't tighten them down too tight, just enough to where they're surely not going to loosen up on their own and they're not going to leak. That's tight enough. All right, let's fire it up and see what it does. Let's see if it's going to build up air pressure. I don't have the key with me. Yeah, dude, it's in my toolbox, or my side box. Obviously building pressure, so I'm going to go on ahead and put my tools up. All right, thanks for watching.